How's it going, folks? So the band Grailknights are back with a brand new song here called "In the Eyes of the Enemy." It's been a hot minute since I did a reaction to these folks, but they got a new song here. I'm looking forward to checking it out. And they have a new album coming out October 17th. Not very far away at all. But anywho, until that comes, we got this new single. So let's give it a listen. Rangers, go.
Once a thriving city lay, now only ruins remain. In the eyes of the enemy, that soldiers paved the ground. Their screams still echo in my ears, the pain I felt profound. The blood-stained fields where so many folk lost hope of returning home. Now face the eyes of the enemy. They were many but still alone. Out of the fire, our banners fade. Out of the shadow, we touch the sky. Our voice of thunder, our spirits roar. The brave will stand forevermore.
In the eyes of the enemy, I walk the barren plain, where once a thriving city lay, now only ruins remain. The sky was dark, the air was thick, no hopes of returning home. Now face the eyes of the enemy. They were many but still alone. Out of the fire, our banners fly. Out of the shadow, we touch the sky. Our voice of thunder, our spirits roar. The brave will stand forevermore.
Out of the fire, our banners fade. Out of the shadow, we touch the sky. Our voice of thunder, our spirits roar. The brave will stand forevermore. Out of the fire, our banners fade. Out of the shadow, we touch the sky. Our voice of thunder, our spirits roar. The brave will stand forevermore.
Wow, pretty awesome here. I really enjoyed this ballad. It just has such a cool vibe. really nice melody, really nice kind of uplifting sort of vibe. It just, yeah, I mean, it was just really, really cool. Super enjoyable. And I'm always a sucker for a nice ballad. And in my opinion, this is one of the better ones that I've heard in recent times, like for a power metal ballad. So, I mean, there's a lot of nice classic ballads and stuff. But, you know, I feel like a lot of the modern ballads, they, you know, it just doesn't hit the same as some of those classic power metal ballads. But this one, I really, really enjoyed it. Again, it's just a nice melody, just a nice feeling about it. I loved the acoustic work in this song, like the acoustic guitar and stuff. Really solid, really added to the atmosphere, added to that nice kind of ballad feel. And yeah, I mean, I just loved that acoustic guitar work. So, you know, I was originally going to say that the verses were my favorite part, and I may still kind of lean that way. But the way it builds into the chorus and then the way the chorus hits, it's just killer. It's just killer. But yeah, those verses, particularly you have the acoustic guitar going, it just has such a nice vibe. I love the melody in the verses. I love the vocals in the verses. And also a great guest here. She just contributed a lot to the song, and it was nice. You kind of have the Grailknights fella starting out with the verses, but then the guest vocalist, she gets verses of her own, and it was just a really nice dynamic, and I thought both their voices sounded excellent together. You know, sometimes when you have like a guest vocalist or something and you have like the dual vocals, you don't quite have that synergy. You know, it's just kind of like, okay, we have two voices kind of singing. It works, but, you know, it just doesn't quite have that synergy. But here, I really thought that they truly had that synergy together. And that just made the song even better. So those verses, I love those verses. And both their voices, when they each do the verses, stellar. Absolutely stellar. And then that chorus hits and things get a bit grander. It's kind of that like motivational moment, like your second wind, you know, like you can conquer anything sort of feel. And it just sounds epic. I love the melody. I love the vocals in there. It's just great. And again, I already mentioned I love the acoustic guitar work, but I also really enjoyed the electric guitar work. The, you know, like the solo and stuff was great. The drums, you know, I thought the drums did a killer job, and also especially when you kind of had that marching beat sort of drums there. I think it was like at the tail end of the bridge as it was kind of building back up into like the final chorus, and just stellar. That kind of just, it's a little detail, but to me it just adds a lot, you know. And then the video I thought was really neat, and especially during that marching beat drums as it's building back up, you know, the vocalist, he's like down, man, you know, is he going to be able to overcome the odds and defeat these villains? It builds up, and yeah, he musters the strength and is able to conquer his enemy. It's just, it's cheesy, but it's awesome, you know. That's power metal for you, and it's just a good feeling. And that's one thing I really liked about this song, is it just has such a good feeling, an uplifting feeling. Like you just stand up and you can conquer your enemy, whatever that may be. And also in the video, I thought was just cool. Each of the members were able to kind of showcase their power, you know, while they're defeating the bad guys. And, you know, it's just fun. Speaking of which, we need a Power Metal Rangers and Grailknights collab stat. I mean, that would just work so good. If y'all haven't seen the Power Metal Rangers debut single, Rangers Go, yet, check it out. It's the debut single. I'm super proud of this project. International musicians. I'm sorry to plug this, but it just felt fitting to me. I'll put a link to the video, the song in the description, so you can check that out. But I think Power Metal Rangers collab with Grailknights, just the nature of Grailknights and stuff, I think that'd be pretty tight. It would just fit together really well. Anywho, I'm getting ahead of myself and I'm getting distracted. But yeah, really, really enjoyed this song. Everything about it, like I said, it's a super solid ballad. Super duper solid ballad. Yeah, it's going to be one, I think when the album comes out, I'm listening to the album, this might be one of those ballads that I certainly save into a playlist or whatnot because, yeah, I just really, really enjoyed it. So, and I love me a good ballad. And I feel like we've been short on solid ballads lately, but Grailknights, they're here to deliver. So, yeah, but anywho, I'm very curious to know y'all's thoughts on this one. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you excited about the new Grailknights album? October 17th? I sure am. But let's talk about it. I'll catch you next time. Ranger. Out.